Every year, over 760,000 international students travel to the United States to participate in higher education. Of these students, roughly 220 attend St. Lawrence University in northern New York. Representing around 78 countries annually, international students make up 9% of SLU's total student body. But what is it truly like to be an international student at St. Lawrence University?
My name is Sophia. I'm from a small town called Fasa in Fars in Iran, and that's it.
My name is Asimina. I come from a city called Thessaloniki, and it's located in Greece.
My name is Agata, and I'm from Gdańsk in Poland.
For domestic students, the experiences and lives of international students is often viewed at a surface level, with deeper feelings and emotions going unknown. For each international student, their story and experience is unique and diverse. However, at SLU, some things seem to remain a constant.
For St. Lawrence, I went to the school that gave me a big scholarship that was quite close to water and had winter.
So I feel like the biggest factor was just I got a very good financial aid offer from here, and that was basically mainly it. I could not get that financial aid in any other countries because they mainly required me to pay a lot of money, and I couldn't. So.
And then SLU, they gave me a good scholarship. And they have a nice major, which I'm planning on majoring with, like PCA, Performance Communication Arts. So yeah.
Beyond hosting diverse nationalities, SLU international students possess unique ranges of goals and dreams.
I came to school in the US because I know I'm not gonna be living here in the future, and I wanted to experience the American dream.
So back home, the way you go into university, like you take the Panhellenic exams, and you have to decide from since you're 16, because you take specific courses in high school, what subject you're gonna follow. So you decide your career, if you want to be a doctor or engineer or whatever, since you're 16, which is a bit pressure, a lot of pressure and anxiety behind it. And the schools, you can combine different classes, you go for a specific, I want to be a doctor or engineer or whatever. So it's nice to have that opportunity of coming to the States with this liberal art, the idea of liberal arts college, of combining physics and theater, doing whatever you're interested in without being pressured from a really young age to decide what you want to do in your future. So that was one of the ideas, because also in different countries in Europe, again, you don't have this idea and concept of liberal arts universities. So yeah, basically that's it.
Being brought up with the idea of American dream and the Western civilization and just everything being, the grass being greener on the other side of the field. I think I was brought up with the idea of an American dream, and coming here was realizing that it's just a country. It's just a country of its own problems and its own reality, and I don't think it's worse in any ways. It's just more realistic than it was told to us at the beginning.
Although sharing similar experiences with domestic students, international students do face their own unique challenges.
First term was quite tough with adjusting to new culture and living through the worst culture shock that I've ever lived through, even though I was in an international school.
So in the school, I think there's a big gap between relationship with domestic students and international students. I'm seeing my upperclassmen friends who are international, they only hang out with international students. And I noticed that with me as a freshman, the first few months of last semester, I was only hanging out with international students. And I think also the school doesn't really at the same time kind of help these two groups bond in a way, because okay, they create events and stuff, but the way they advertise it, it's most targeted to international students as well. So it's kind of like this create this barrier between domestic and internationals, which I think like shouldn't be one, because like yeah, like it's nice to be people who like maybe get your culture more or whatever, but like you're gonna be here for 4 years at least, like, you know.
So basically, back in Hong Kong, it's a quite of an international city. For those who don't know it, it has basically a lot of people from different cultures. So it is a quite inclusive and diverse area, and also specifically in my school, we were a very diverse school, and there were a lot of inclusivity. And I expected the same from here, but I don't think my expectations were met as much in the school. And I feel like quite the opposite of how I sort of had like a freedom of speech about a lot of stuff in my school. I don't quite have that here, even though it is claimed to be there. Yeah, I think the main problem is that I just don't see a lot of local students being interested in knowing more about our cultures, or just like in general. I feel like international students are being quite neglected in this area. I've heard a lot of my friends like experiencing a lot of times that people would make fun of their accent and because of a certain way that they would pronounce something, or just simply being assumed that they're dumb just because English is not their first language. I personally also have had experience such events, and to be honest, I don't think the school does much on it. They claim to be doing a lot on it, but I don't think they are.
The location of the university is like really like in the middle of nowhere, so transportation is really difficult. And like I get that the school cannot provide transportation for free, but being an international student and like trying to just get to the airport or like whatever, it's a bit difficult, and then the school adds you like biggest fees, or like so the transportation is a big problem for me, like most of the international students. I mean, we have the I house and like the events and stuff there, so like I wish like the school had like this international like as a more important thing like in their campus, or like because like they promote diversity and inclusion and everything, like the quota or whatever, and then like the international like coordinators make it into one, like they organize this events and everything, but the funding is not sufficient enough.
I feel like one of the simplest things that could be done on behalf of school is just like on a very basic thing like their social media announcing that they're going to have students from certain countries, having the students share about their experience or their background, or in general being more open and on holding events about cultural stuff, so we also get a chance to share our culture with students. However, I feel like also a huge part of it is just people themselves being open to it, and I don't know how can you fix that, because you can have as much as budget you want and as many events as you want, but if people just simply are not interested to, I don't know, go learn about it, then you cannot force them. If any of your friends are saying or talking in a certain way, or they have some sort of like their local accent in their English, don't make fun of them. We're all the same, we're all equal. It's just, we're just coming from a different background, and that doesn't make us less or more of you.